You're watching ESPN College Football here at Waldo Stadium. 96th edition of Western Michigan and Central Michigan battling for the rights to the Victory Cannon Trophy, a rivalry that began back in 1907, set to get another chapter in the books today, which should be a very fun one to kick off November, an important one as well. As you take a look at the MAC standings, these two teams trying to slide into second place on November 1st. Buffalo winning today to get to 4-1. So a big one in the MAC standings and a big one in the state of Michigan. On top of that, as we welcome you up inside of the booth, Jason Ross Jr. alongside Gerard Cherry. Pumped up for this one. A little hatred, a little emotion, and Gerard on top of that. It's a huge game in the standings for these teams.
It certainly is, Jason. And what you appreciate about these rivalry games is that you never know what you're going to get. Yes, you toss out the records, but the main thing that you focus on is the fact that you have an opportunity to go against your heated opponent.
Absolutely. We'll start on the Western Michigan side. Their QB, Brock Lowry. Gerard, we know they like the medium, short passing game. What does he need to do to be really good today?
Well, what he simply needs to do is be himself. They gave him the keys to the offense, so he needs to remain a safe driver. He shows you that he has dual capability to run as well as pass the football effectively. But what I really love about his game, Jason, is the fact that the young man is so tough. He puts physical presence on display every chance he gets, but he also shows he has touch with the football as well.
I'll flip it over on the Central Michigan side of things, the guys that are trying to stop him today. Jordan Kwiatkowski, Michael Hellman, what do you like about these two?
The fact that they are always showing up and showing out. And as they go, so does this football team. Kwiatkowski is an excellent football player, sideline to sideline linebacker. And Hellman is just a guy who wreaks havoc on that defensive front. So again, with these two guys, you have to slow them down. You have to try to contain them if you're Western Michigan.
Well, their head coach, Matt Drinkle, has had a heck of a 48-hour stretch. We caught up with Matt Drinkle moments ago. Coach Drinkle, in-state bragging rights means a ton to both of these fan bases. How have you preached to your team the importance of this rivalry and how to handle the emotions associated with that?
Man, early in the week, I spent a bunch of time talking to people that have been a part of this and some big rivalries as well. And the thing I learned is that I am not going to be prepared for it. So we lean really heavily on former coaches, Coach Duramity, and the seniors and the players here who do have a great understanding of this rivalry. So leaned heavy on their leadership, and they're getting these guys ready to go.
And Coach Drinkle, you've had an epic 2 days, from the purchase of a home to a birth of a child. What is the underlying message that you are going to convey to your players before they take the field?
Just how much I love them and how grateful I am to be around these guys every day. Like, I haven't been home since Wednesday, and we were doing blood tests in Midland at the hospital this morning at 4. So kind of puts a lot of things into perspective for you. So just how fortunate we all are to be around people we care about and love each other. And, man, go out and have some fun and play our butts off.
Thanks, Coach. Really appreciate the time. Good luck today.
Thank you guys so much. Fire up, Chips.
Well, as you heard it there, Coach's new daughter, Madison Sky Drinkle, was born at 3:54 p.m. on Thursday. Quick turnaround, drive up to the stadium today. Gerard, that's so cool. How do you handle the emotions of that translate to the game today?
Well, it's really simple. You stay within yourself. And from talking with Coach Drinkle, one of the things that you walk away from the experience saying to yourself is that he's really figured out. He's a smart coach, and you will think and wonder, okay, what are they going to do to prepare for this football game? Simply put, just go out there and play football and have fun. I'm pretty sure that's the message that he's conveying to his football team.
I love it. A lot of good family emotion, game emotion. We're going to take a look back at the emotion from a season ago when these teams met up. That was a 16-14 victory for Central Michigan. They're trying to back it up today. You see B.J. Harris with a 6-yard run there, and Tristan Matson kicked a couple of field goals, one from 36 yards, another for 47. Central Michigan jumped out to a 13-0 lead in that game at home a season ago. And Tate Halleck for Western Michigan, he's back on the field today. 78-yard INT, pick 6, 13-7 Central at that point. Matson again with another field goal for 30 yards. Went up 16-7. Western Michigan was not able to come back, and the Victory Cannon Trophy went to the Chips. Series history has been so tight between these two teams. That's the trophy that's on the line today. It's a beautiful one, as you see there. Last 3 games decided by 10 points or less. Last meeting, 16-14 to Central Michigan. Their fans have traveled today from Mount Pleasant here to Kalamazoo. It feels like football weather today, as you see head coach Lance Taylor of Western Michigan He told us, Gerard, you don't have to really fire your team up too much for this. The coaching isn't about that today. It's about handling the details and discipline because the players know how to get fired up for this game.
Exactly. You will not have to give a new rocking speech at halftime or before the game. Simply put, these two teams do not like each other. They're going to put that on display. But more importantly, it comes down to playing clean football, complementary football, and the team that executes the best will win this football game.
Central Michigan will kick off to begin. Cade Graham will kick us off. Devin Miles back to return for Western Michigan. Set a single game Western Michigan record for kick return yardage a week ago against Miami. Sold out crowd, packed house. Big one in the MAC, big one in the state of Michigan. Year-round bragging rights on the line. Off we go on November 1st. Miles will let that sail. And out comes the man who we talked about in the open, Brock Lowry. Guy who, you said it, I thought really well, Gerard, the other day when we were chatting about him. He wants the smoke. Like, he's not going to dodge it.
No, he's certainly not. He wants to bring the pain, and if you come physical with him, he's going to give it right back to you, and you have to appreciate that when you have a quarterback who has the mentality of a linebacker.
And our today's Impact Players brought to you by Freestyle Libre.
That's right. Brock Townsend, Jonathan Decker for CMU, definitely productive players, and Buckley as well as Tucker also are very productive players.
Quick throw to the flats here. Right away, good game on the opening play. Talik Williams on the reception as they get the passing game started up. That's that medium-range passing game we talked about.
Yes, and Lowry is so effective with that medium, intermediate passing game, and you appreciate positive yards on the first down because that sets you up very well for second down.
A gain of 7 there to get things underway. Really after the first 3 weeks of the season when they were going back and forth between him and Brady Jones in terms of reps at QB, they felt the offense was moving so well with Lowry out there. They stuck with him from that point on. And here's the balance of this offense in the running game. Dancing along the sidelines, trying to tightrope it to stay in bounds is Buckley. We'll see where they mark him out of bounds. The Aurora, Illinois native off to a hot start.
And Jalen Buckley does a sensational job of bouncing outside. No containment there, no problem. I'm going to pick up positive yards in the process. You're going to have somebody play force and contain on the defensive front for Central Michigan.
It's a gain of 15, what they'll call it. This Western Michigan team coming off the 26-17 loss to Miami. Led with 7 minutes to go in that game. Felt they got too conservative down the stretch. Looking aggressive early on offense, but around the edge. Looks like that was Heldman along with Corver Dema. Dema came around from his linebacker position to get there.
And a situation, simply put, where the protection did not hold up. And if you're Lowry, you have to understand that that alarm clock has to go off your head to get rid of that football. You do not want to take a sack and create a negative play.
Wyatkowski leading the linebacker room in tackles was there to combine with Dema. So 2nd and 16 after the loss of 6. Lola Matele in at running back. He's going to block out on the edge. The ball was caught by Talik Williams, his 2nd catch on this opening drive. At 5 catches, 71 yards, and a touchdown last week.
Yeah,
Cochran on the tackle.
And not surprising featuring Williams because he does an excellent job in the open field of causing defenders to miss.
See the 3rd down numbers for Western Michigan so far this season. 2nd best in the MAC, but a 3rd and 14 on their own half of the field here is the first one they're tested with. Pressure comes and it arrives. Dakota Cochran got there first. Linebacker room combining early for Central Michigan. Couple of sacks on their opening series out there.
Certainly, and a great job on the part of Central Michigan's defense to understand that you're dealing with an inexperienced offensive line. So what do you do against an inexperienced offensive line? You bring the pressure. You force them to make decisions. And obviously right there, they did not make the right ones in the blitz pickup, hence the sack.
Caleb Spann back to return the first punt of the game. It'll come from Ryan Milmore. So a good opening stand for Central Michigan's defense on the road. They get somewhat close to that punt. There was contact with Milmore. So a flag coming. An aggressive start, maybe got a little too aggressive there. Say hello to our referee, Rich Edwards, for the first time.
Definitely a long time deliberating here.
Gets a Rich eventually here as they chat with Lance Taylor, head coach for Western Michigan, about the decision.
Running into the kicker. Defense, number 7. 5-yard penalty. Replay. 4th down.
And I like the decision on Coach Stevens' part, Taylor's part, in that here's what you want to do. Force to kick it again. That wasn't the greatest of punts, so why not put him back and pin him, have the opportunity to pin him back further, as you see right here. And that's, again, it wasn't as problematic as one would think. But at the same time, the opportunity to punt again, take advantage of it. Hopefully you get better field position if you're Western Michigan.
Milmore, the redshirt sophomore, Bloomington, Illinois native. Take 2 with this punt. And a fair catch. Spann. So Central Michigan's first offensive series. Joe Lavis and the offense come out next. It's been an incredibly fun week for Central Michigan head coach Matt Drinkle as Wife Kim gave birth to their newest daughter, Madison Sky Drinkle, at 3:54 p.m. on Thursday. 9 pounds. Baby Maddie and mom Kim are happy and healthy. She was wrapped in a football-themed blanket yesterday. Coach drove from the hospital about 4 a.m. this morning over to the stadium. So he has not been home since Wednesday. Now coaching in a rivalry game today. Couple of the best days of his life. And now his first game as head coach of Central Michigan in this Central Michigan-Western Michigan rivalry. First offensive series, pump, then a throw to Langston Lewis, and a big play on their opening play offensively. Joe Labus' first throw complete, gain of 15. Joshua Franklin, the tackle, good start there.
An excellent play design on the part of Central Michigan. You have a spot in which you're going to fake the pass to Townsend, your running back who's been playing extremely well, but throw it downfield to Langston Lewis, who has a big pickup on first down.
Lewis, a key receiver in this offense for Labus. Offense going to have more of a pro-style look today. You see his numbers from a week ago against UMass. So efficient, 10 of 11, 148, couple of touchdowns. That's his MO, efficiency. Go to the air again, dump it over the middle. Looks like Langston Lewis again. It is Lewis popping up with a good catch. Both players going to have to improvise there, but gain of 14 nonetheless.
Yeah, the question is, did he catch it as the ball's headed towards the ground? And that looks like a grab to me. And right now, they're doing what we call tendency breakers, in that you would think, okay, Central Michigan is so prolific at running, Jason, but no, they come out first 2 plays passing the football.
Now there's Angel Flores, who does typically come in on third down plays for Central Michigan. Every game you see his numbers, but he's out with an injury next couple of weeks at least. So it's the Labus show today, which does switch up how they approach things offensively a bit. Go to the ground game. We know Gerard, they're still going to have that run game mentality. Now Reed Biggins on the carry there. Sefapaya on the hit. 250 rushing yards per game over the last 5.
Certainly, and Jason, whenever you see number 41, Rusty Van Wetzinga, come into the football game, assume that it is going to be a running play, because they go old school with the traditional fullback in the backfield to clear up space for those running backs for Central Michigan.
So Gerard, a little improv early. Marcus Beeman, who we thought there was a slim chance we might see. They were planning to possibly redshirt him. Instead, he comes in here, and they are going to show us 2 quarterbacks. Weren't sure if it was going to happen, but they do want to give a running look. Clearly, there they do. Doesn't give you much, but another different look to showcase here with Beeman apparently going to be involved in this game today as Moon makes the tackle.
And it shows that they want to keep with their system of 2 quarterbacks and not put all the onus on Labus to get the job done, and that you're going to incorporate Beeman into the situation, which would typically be Flores' role.
Yep. Third down, and this sold-out crowd going to get involved early. Flags one flying. Quick throw to McIntosh. Incomplete. We'll see what this flag is for. Javarius Sims, the shutdown corner for the Broncos, on the coverage there.
And we got the good old-fashioned pointing game. No, you went first. No, he went first.
Number 11, 5-yard penalty. Third down.
The point goes to the defense, so 5-yard penalty. So third down, and about 4 yards coming up here. Very disciplined Western Michigan team. 3rd fewest in the FBS. They were on a 4-game win streak at one point this season. Started with the game against Toledo, where they only had 2 penalties. So that's a rarity. 3rd and 4 here. Handed off to Townsend, trying to cut through traffic. Got hit from behind. Looks like Sefapaya got there. He transferred from Ferris State.
And watch the offensive line for Central Michigan. As you notice, no push, but penetration on the part of Western Michigan. And whenever you get penetration on the defensive front, 9 times out of 10, you're going to win and prevent the team from picking up positive yards to get a first down.
Gerard, decision time. You like keeping the offense out here?
Yeah, be aggressive, be aggressive. It's a rivalry
game.
What do you have to lose?
Here we go.
Other than bragging rights.
You're out. 4th and 3. Labus, one-on-one matchup. There was some contact. Flags come out. Looking for Tyson Davis. Joshua Franklin on the coverage. He goes palms up in frustration. Officials come together.
Now, as a former DB, it didn't look that egregious to me. But again, former DB.
It looked like they were just entangled at first. Then Davis went down.
Pass interference. Defense, number 1. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
Take another look at it again here, Gerard. See if the safety within you thinks the same.
Well, right there, okay, you get your hands off of him. At this point, he's falling in the zone, so that, in my opinion, is a horrible call.
The safety within you is still there. I was wondering if it would change up a bit.
The safety, the nickel, the dime, the cornerback.
The DB is still within you. So that moves the Central Michigan drive to the 26 of Western Michigan. Labus rolling out this time. Dump it off. Able to connect there with Henry Dryden, the tight end. Tate Halleck, the big safety, 6'4", 210, Grand Rapids native, makes the tackle.
Right, and a minimal good gain on the part of Central Michigan, but I like the fact that no one in Western Michigan's secondary lost sight of their receivers, preventing a big play.
This is going to be interesting to watch. Marcus Beeman comes back in again at quarterback on 2nd and 5. Again, haven't seen him this season. They thought about redshirting him, but he's coming in place of Flores to do kind of what, at least so far, Angel Flores does, which is run the ball quite a bit.
All right, he's certainly trying to fulfill the role of Flores in running the football, but as we've seen so far, nowhere near as productive as Flores has been for Central Michigan when he has a football in his hand and he's running. But also, too, Jason, what I'm noticing right now for Western Michigan, they're playing uncharacteristically in that they're having a lot of mistakes take place and not playing clean football, extending drives.
The penalties helped continue this Central Michigan series. 8th play now on their opening offensive series. Labus back in at QB.
Isolation routes.
3rd and 3. They give it to Biggins, trying to power his way forward. Physical finishing to all these plays. Bodies hitting the turf all around the field. Nadame Tucker, who has 8.5 sacks on the season, the name to watch today, made the tackle there. It is going to be 4th and short. Very short.
And again, Central Michigan is going for it on 4th down.
And Gerard, they're going to do it with another QB switch. Marcus Beeman comes right back in.
You have to assume it's a run.
They'll really stack it up front. Beeman takes it around the edge, trying to push his way for a first down. And Central Michigan sideline pointing the way to keep it going. Looks like Temple made a good block over there.
And Beeman, to his credit, keeps churning his legs, because if he doesn't do that, he's not going to pick up that first down. So a gutsy call on the part of Central Michigan. You love the aggressiveness, and this is what you want to teach your players. Hey, we're going to be aggressive. We're going to lay it out on the football field on a rivalry week game, and they're certainly doing that so far.
Central Michigan offensive coordinator Jim Chapin told us we are a faceless, nameless group, and we all come together for one mission. Kind of seeing that early. Brock Townsend, the back, through a nice block there. A keeper here. Labus cutting his way around the edge. He can run it as well. They were also deliberately bringing Flores and now Beeman today in to keep some of the hits off of Labus. It's going to be a physical game today.
And what I love about that nameless and faceless aspect is the fact that this is a team full of guys who don't care if their names aren't constantly in social media, that they do it for the team. They block as receivers when they know they're not going to get the pass, and obviously as a running back with committee, they know they have to share the rock and load as well.
He said we're not the prettiest offense in America, and we know that. We're not going to apologize for it. 2nd and 6. Could still get a first down without scoring at the 6-yard line. Labus going to roll it out. That ball deflected, it looked like, out of the air. There is a flag down behind the play, right where Labus went down. Already 2 penalties on Western Michigan on this series. We'll see what this is for.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 42. Low hit on the quarterback. Half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
So Gerard, one of the most disciplined teams in the country, undisciplined right now, and it's hurting them.
Exactly. I know all week you talked about, hey, this is our rival, we're going to kill the quarterback, and those type of sentiments are expressed, but you can't do it. You have to play a smarter brand of football if you're Western Michigan, because right now you're doing your part to extend this drive.
3 big penalties against Western Michigan, and Central Michigan sets up now with 1st and goal because of it. They'll hand it off right up the gut. Those Biggins to about the 2. And Dane Tucker on the tackle. Impressive long series right now for the Chips.
Time of possession is certainly on their side, but again, it comes back to how these drives are getting extended. And right now, it's been due to poor play as far as discipline is concerned on the part of Western Michigan with the penalties.
This is where they bring in the fullback, Rusty Van Wetzinga, to block. On the 12th play of the drive, looks like Leibus trying to pile his way through. Could not. So a good stand again from the Broncos defense down up against their own goal line. It's going to be 3rd and goal.
And Tucker and company are doing a sensational job of establishing themselves at the point of attack, not allowing push on the part of Central Michigan. As you see, the Dame Tucker comes from the backside to make that play. That's one of the reasons why the pro scouts are here looking at him play.
Line it up again. Biggins again. Bouncing off of tacklers. Stretching for the end zone. Touchdown. You talk about an opening series that illustrates the toughness of this rivalry. 13 plays, 72 yards.
And that run right there was a microcosm of this rivalry and so far the drive, in that Biggins had multiple opportunities in which he could have went down, but what did he do? He kept churning his legs, he's spinning and pivoting, and found himself in the end zone. You love this type of effort out of the tailback in there. Well, okay, nothing's there, but I'm going to keep my feet, keep moving, keep going, and stretch to the end zone for the score.
It's a tough stretch there. Now Cade Graham coming on for the extra point. Well, Central Michigan jumped out to a 13-0 lead in this rivalry game a season ago. Today they go 8 minutes, 55 seconds to strike first this season. Coming up, 7:30 Eastern on ABC and the all-new ESPN app, the final game of the triple-header. Number 14, Tennessee, hosting number 18, Oklahoma in Knoxville. Should be a heck of an atmosphere at Neyland. Our Dr. Ripper Fansville College football update earlier today. 21 fourth-quarter points from Vandy and Diego Pavia. Not enough to complete the comeback against Arch Manning and Texas. A tight one there. Another wacky weekend of college football. Central Michigan off to a 7-0 start. The 96th edition of the CMU-WMU rivalry. Kalamazoo, the location this season. Central Michigan again jumped off to a nice start last year. Devin Miles will bring this out for the Broncos. Speedy returner, trying to look for the edge, get out to nearly the 30-yard line. We will be back as the Broncos try to answer that nearly 9-minute scoring drive from Central Michigan. All right, Gerard, put you on the spot here. Favorite Halloween candy is?
Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, the small ones.
Ooh, okay.
Can't go wrong with that.
The Lorax has arrives in Kalamazoo. Double Lorax. Spooky weekends for a fun rivalry. And the offense coming back out for Western Michigan here. They're going to deliberately run it. With Lowry, who took a big hit. Here the pads popping down to the field. Flag behind him. We'll see what the flag is here.
Holding, offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So they get Zach Vaughn on the holding call. An offensive line that's improved a lot from game one to now for Western Michigan.
Yeah, but now we have a situation where Western Michigan is doing similar to what their defense did, which is hurting oneself. Got to play clean football.
Again, this is one of the most disciplined teams in the country. That's penalty number 4 already in this opening quarter. 3 of them were huge defensively. Throw and climbing the ladder there is Talik Williams to make the grab. His 3rd catch. He had 5 a week ago, off to a good start. Kwiatkowski with the tackle there after a game of 6.
Yeah, I like the throw and I like the decision making to go with the pass because Lowry took a shot on that first play. And one of the things that I concerned myself with when we asked Coach Bell about it was, do you ever tell him not to take on these defenders and just live to play another down? And the answer was no.
One of the reasons he won the job was asking Coach Taylor if he could go live on the final scrimmage of camp. He's going to keep it here, take another hit right on cue. The reason he did that is because he was in a QB battle with Brady Jones and wanted to show Coach what he could do. Felt if he was going to show him what he could do, he needed to be tackled, which is what going live means, but not normal for that to happen, Gerard, in camp for a quarterback.
Certainly not. Normally, quarterbacks want the red shirt on and avoid contact when all opportunities presents itself.
3rd and 12 here, 0 for 1 on 3rd down so far. With a minute to go in this first quarter. Lowry looks one way, then the other to the sideline for Talik Williams, but definitely not enough. If he did complete it inbounds, which he did not.
Ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. 4th down.
And if you're going to run this route, you want to be beyond the sticks. And then also, too, you want to catch the ball, which Williams did not do. But in a situation like that, I really want to see Lowry run the football because I think he's actually more dangerous as a runner and in a situation like that as opposed to passing.
Both these quarterbacks are so efficient. That was the first incomplete pass from either quarterback of the game so far. Ryan Milmore brought out to punt here. Caleb Spann to return. This is a short punt, high hang time. Fair catch made it about the 39-yard line.
And when you're in situations in which you're not able to extend drives and you have your punting team on the football field, you want to flip the field because right now Central Michigan finds itself in excellent field position, having already spent the majority of the first quarter with the football in their hands.
13 plays, 9 minutes, just about 8 minutes and 55 seconds. That opening offensive series chewed up the vast majority of this first quarter. In TV terms, forced us into a double break scenario. 36 seconds left in the quarter. They go to the grounds. Biggins brought down quickly.
And that's what you want to turn on the film and see. You want to see all defenders swarm into the football.
Take a look at the numbers for this Western defense. It's been very stingy, especially against the run. Holding opponents to 117 yards on the ground per game. That could be huge today because you flip it over, Gerard, to Central Michigan. They're averaging 250 on the ground over the last 5 games.
They certainly are. And one of the things that you appreciate about Chris O'Leary is the fact that he has these guys playing at such a high level as he made the transition from the pro game to the collegiate ranks.
End of the first quarter. This rivalry that's been played since 1907. Another edition today, 7-0 Central Michigan. 7-0 start for Central Michigan. Western Michigan defensive coordinator Chris O'Leary, he felt they were too emotional last week, focusing in on the discipline and the details this week. So far, Gerard, those details and discipline, it's been an issue. The 3 big penalties that first time they came out defensively, leading to the Central Michigan touchdown.
Right, and the message to the defensive unit has to be, settle down, guys. I know it's a game of emotion, but we have to get to a space to where we are calm, cool, and collected, and just simply do what we're capable of doing, which is getting after the quarterback and making plays.
2 out of the 3 penalties led to first downs for Central Michigan. Langston Lewis is big on that opening drive. He comes in motion here. Labus goes over the middle instead, and a tough grab made right out near midfield. Looks like Tommy McIntosh.
And as a defender, this is one of the most frustrating plays in that you simply just have a receiver sit down in the area in which no one is at, and it's called taking what the defense gives you, and they did an excellent job right there of doing just that to pick up the first down.
How important are those toughness plays in a rivalry game? The ability to hang on to a football like that.
Oh, it means everything. Again, clean football is the key, especially in a rivalry game. And the team that has the most composure normally wins these games.
Labus will hand it off this time. Brock Townsend, the back, he had a fantastic week against UMass in that 38-13 win. Central Michigan scored in their first 4 possessions. Came out hot just like they have done today. And now another quarterback change. Marcus Beeman comes back in, essentially replacing the injured Angel Flores this week if you tuned in late. So Central Michigan still giving you a 2 QB look.
Yeah, you wonder at what point will Beeman throw the football as opposed to us designate him as a running quarterback.
So far, at least, it's been expect to run. He was warming up some throws in the sideline, though, during the last commercial break. They'll hand it off again. Western Michigan only allowed 17 rushing yards in the first quarter. Again, the CMU team averaging 250 on the ground over their last 5. It was the penalties, though, that hurt them so much.
And passing. That's really what has been the Achilles heel so far for Western Michigan. You got to cut down the penalties, and you got to figure out some way to provide tougher coverage when Central Michigan decides to pass football.
Third and 6 for Labus. Pressure comes. Ball is out. Picked up. Nadane Tucker made the hit. Rodney McGraw scooped it up. It is Western Michigan football.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. First down, Western Michigan.
And this is what I call getting greedy. And the reason why I say that is Nadane Tucker is a type of player, Jason, that commands respect, that you double him up, you do not leave him alone, and you understand that if he is on the football field,
Sideline
you need to
warning.
get rid of the football fast.
Western Michigan. This is their first of the game. There is no yardage penalty.
It was a heavy, heavy collision.
You see, drop it back, boom! And that's on the inside move on top of that, which is so impressive. The guy has such a great skill set. He can beat you from the inside, he can beat you on the stunt with that, or coming on the outside traditionally.
Nadane Tucker, 8.5 sacks on the season. He's been one of the best in the country.
Yeah, make that 9.5 now.
Yep. Brock Lowry trying to feed off of it. Block set up on the near side. Christian Leary, nice play up the sideline.
And do not be surprised at some stage of the game that becomes a running back pass, because it was certainly there.
They're going to move the chains. Momentum now in a rivalry game. You can feel it shift. It's palpable.
Yeah, you certainly can, and that's exactly what you want, a pass completion in which you allow your skilled running back, Buckley, to get his hands on the football to make a positive play.
They bring in Lolo Mateele as running back on this play. He's trying to pick his way through traffic.
Yeah, Lolo ends up picking up some positive yards, but I believe that he just went straight ahead, which is what he's known for. He's not the type of guy that's going to meet you in the hole and dodge you. He's a straight ahead runner, but had he had gone straight ahead, there were more yards to pick up.
They considered him more short yardage, situational.
Tough yardage.
Yep, those tough yards you need in this rivalry. This is a year-round bragging rights state. If you grew up in Michigan, you know that. Western Michigan lost this rivalry a season ago. Back home this year. Down 7-0 on the home field, though. Lowry, Matele pitches it to him. Oh! Little patience on display there.
That is the operative word. This is a beautiful job of not panicking, maintain your patience, and waiting till the last moment in which to pitch the football. As Lowry's making his read, he said, okay, Cochran, I got you. Now he pitches out to Lolo, who does the rest by picking up the first down.
Gain of 11. Reaching the red zone for the first time today. Matele again, tripped up that time. May have had some green grass in front of him. And he kept his footing. Jordan Kwiatkowski, who you pointed out in the open, going to get credited with the tackle there.
Yes, Jordan Kwiatkowski will find himself around the football whenever you watch Central Michigan play. But right there, Lolo just has to do a better job of keeping his feet. That's why I used to have the old school tire drill back in the day for moments just like that.
You're doing the drill over here in the booth. If we could get a camera on you right now, you get tiptoe in there in the dress shoes. I like it. Still got the footwork.
My way of saying in shape.
Exercise and call game at the same time. Get the heart rate up and the mind racing. Yeah. In a rivalry atmosphere. Buckley, the back this time, dragged down. Good open field tackle by Elijah Ricard. Fifth-year senior from Detroit. He knows this rivalry well, all 5 years in the Central Michigan program. Wears different hats defensively for the Chips.
Yeah, you won't find a better open field tackle than that, because we are well aware that Buckley is an extremely difficult guy to bring down with multiple tacklers. He did that on his own accord. Elijah Ricard, excellent job.
A 3rd and 9, could get a first down at the 7. Interesting part of the field for Lowry. Throws it over the middle. Trying to push the pile. Looks like this is going to be about 2 yards short of a first down. And some physicality at the end of the pile.
All right, and there's a referee in the mix of all that saying, get him off me, somebody.
Oh, gosh. You're right. It's the Dan Montgomery.
Yeah, Dan finds himself in harm's way, needs to get out the way. But right there, he takes a shot. But more importantly, you got positive yards on the play. And what I would like to see Western Michigan do is go back to the up-tempo, because when it seems like when they slowed it down, that allowed what? Central Michigan to catch his breath and get more composure. Take advantage of the fact when you have a team reeling that you keep pressing the issue.
Looks like Dan's okay.
Yeah.
Inadvertent hit there from Dakota Cochran.
He'll survive and make
Hops
another
back
call.
Up. Everyone's taking hits in this rivalry. Got to keep your head on the swivel.
Even the ump.
Right. So 4th down. Gerard, you agree with the choice to go for it here?
Yes, you want to match scores. It's rivalry week. Obviously, if you do pin them, have a situation where you're off the football field, it's still excellent field position once you pin them down with the chance to get after the quarterback again if you're Western Michigan. But I like this decision. Question is, do you run or do you pass?
Buckley is the back.
RPO it.
We have seen that from them on this series, that RPO look. You wonder if that's what they'll
Timeout.
go to.
Western Michigan.
As Western Michigan
Their first
calls
of
their
the half.
timeout.
Full
With
media
8:58
timeout.
to go in the second quarter. Big 4th down play when we come back. Tomorrow on Sunday NFL Countdown, before the Chiefs batter the Bills, Alex Smith goes all access with Patrick Mahomes on the art of off-platform throws, plus a report from Detroit before J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings take on the Lions. Fun divisional matchup there, and you got lost. Randy's catches from the week. Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN and the all-new ESPN app. Well, here we go. 4th down, 4th and 3 for Brock Lowry and the Broncos. Their best series of this game. Will it continue? Lowry steps up, tries to dump it off. That was deflected and incomplete. But there is a flag down. We'll await this call. It's going to be
foul. Hands to the face. Defense, number 3. At the distance to the goal. Automatic. First down.
They call that on Brendan Diaz-Fernandez, and that extends the drive.
Right, you had an opportunity to get off the football field with that play, keeps things going. But what I want to see for Western is get Lowry outside the pocket. He operates much better when he's on the move and on the go, as opposed to trying to be a traditional drop back QB.
Saw a couple of Western penalties that continued the Central Michigan opening series. Flipped the script this time. Jalen Buckley trying to take advantage, banging off of bodies, carrying bodies to the goal line. And he came up just short.
Puts his head down and runs inside the
Former MAC Freshman of the Year, Jalen Buckley, battling through injuries and battling through bodies.
He literally had 5 to 6 Central Michigan chips on his back as he was trying to go into the end zone. You love that type of effort and tenacity on the part of Buckley.
Buckley's the back again here. 2nd and goal, they line it up. Try to stuff it in with Lowry spinning. Probably smart to keep control of the football and not put it in potential jeopardy. He's definitely down before he gets the goal line here.
And right there, Decker, one of our impact players, wins at the point of attack, slowing Lowry down. And then his teammates come in, Fernandez, for example, to do the rest. Just clean up duty.
Diaz-Fernandez atoning for that mistake on the penalty, but can you hold him here on 3rd and goal? Lowry again, take 2 this time, and he's in the end zone this time.
Not quite a tush-push situation, but certainly effective. And we're starting to see the remnants of what takes place during rivalry week. Too much extracurricular activity, but I love the effort on the part of Lowry going into the heart of that Central Michigan defense to get the touchdown.
And now extra point to try to tie this up.
The result of the play is a touchdown. After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 86. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. That is number 86, first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
Like you said, Gerard, things getting a little chippy down there. Blake Bosma doing some chatting.
Yeah, and he got after the DB that was on the football field trying to block him. Pretty much it turned into WrestleMania.
Not an invitation
UFC.
for a post-game dinner.
No, definitely not that.
Palmer Domschke going to attempt to tie this football game with 7:43 to go in the half. The 2 out of the last 3 in this rivalry decided by 10 points or less. We are now knotted up at 7 apiece after the Brock Lowry touchdown. 7:43 to go in the half.
Introducing Verts. Swipe for news and highlights. Now available on the ESPN app.
All tied up now. Second quarter, Western Michigan, Central Michigan. Last look at what we think was the chippiness at the end of that play on the touchdown. Bosma going down. He was called for.
What type of world do we live in where you get put on your back and they call a penalty on you?
Right. So it's kind of who saw what there.
He must have said something. He certainly did not win the physical element of that matchup.
Western Michigan did imprint themselves in terms of physicality on that last series and what they wanted to do. Hunter Smith coming out to kick off here. It was 9 plays, 41 yards for that touchdown. Capitalizing on the fumble the last time Central Michigan had the football, which feels like a while ago now. Biggins to return, bobbled it a little bit and cuts it back. Dragged down. You hear those pads popping at about the 20 on this crisp November 1st afternoon. Couldn't ask for a better day for football here in Kalamazoo. Waldo Stadium.
And you couldn't ask for better coverage on the part of Western Michigan on that play, because that should have been an opportunity to get excellent field position. But if you're Biggins, what you to do is run straight ahead. No dodging around when you're on a kickoff or a punt return. Your most effective returners go straight ahead.
So now comes out Joe Labus, third series for him in this offense. I've seen a lot of Marcus Beeman coming in at QB as well. Every other play more so in a running look. Central Michigan's lone scoring drive was nearly 9 minutes. Wonder how much clock they chew up here, if they can get something going. Langston Lewis, big catch for Lewis, inside of the 45. Langston Lewis down the sideline, inside of the 10. Langston Lewis goes all the way. 77 yards for Langston Lewis in the chips.
And there was a track meet between Langston Lewis and the secondary for Western Michigan, and Langston Lewis wins by a landslide. What a great catch on the part of Langston Lewis as he beats Isaiah Paul in the process. Nothing fancy here. Find the open man and doing a crosser route, and Lewis does the rest and turns on the Jets and says, no one is going to catch me, and when you do catch me, I have the presence of mind to outstrengthen you and make the score.
He's known as a tough receiver. That time it looked like a track meet receiver. Cade Graham, extra point. So we go from nearly 9 minute drive the first time they scored to scoring in the blink of an eye.
That's right, and this is what the doctor ordered for Central Michigan. You want explosive plays? You got it right there on full display.
Langston Lewis goes 77 yards for the touchdown for CMU, an offense known for over the last 5 weeks, 250 rushing yards per game, letting it fly. You see Lewis's numbers so far. He's been the go-to target, and for good reason. Now Devin Miles back to return this kick. Matt Drinkle has got to like the start for his group that has a chance to get to bowl eligibility today. More importantly for them, in the MAC standings, a huge one, opportunity to slide into second place for both of these teams. And on top of that, battle for the Victory Cannon Trophy. He called a fair catch.
Huge mistake.
So
number
going
84
back to
signaled for a fair catch, and the ball was caught by number 5. By rule, the ball will be placed at the spot where it was possessed. First down, Western Michigan.
So we'll get back to that, but for now, Gerard, let's look at the all-22 angle of the 76-yard touchdown.
Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 7 minutes and 23 seconds.
Pre-snap, you say to yourself, okay, they're in cover 3. But once the ball is snapped, things change, and not for the better for Western Michigan as they convert to what I call cover 6. We have a backside corner playing cover 4, and no one's in the middle of the football field because the linebacker didn't get deep enough on the drop, and Lewis takes it all the way to the house.
Trying to get some breathing room here after the last scoring drive. Good throw over the middle. That is caught by Balin Brooks. Just to clean up why Western Michigan was backed up the way they were, Kevin Boone Nelson, who didn't actually catch that, called for the fair catch. It was Miles who caught it. So that was the mistake that essentially pinned them at their own 5, but he gets some breathing room here on a good first down catch.
And you like to have your returner who's catching the football make that decision, not the guy back there helping them.
Lowry gonna fake the handoff. Some good protection. That is caught. Talik Williams again, his 5th catch of the day. 15-yard gain there.
Positive pickup on the part of Western Michigan, but for Lowry, a coaching point is if you can get your feet settled and throw into that pass, you can pick up even more yards, but you'll take that for a positive play on first down.
Inside of 6.5 to go in this first half. Central Michigan jumped out to the 7-0 lead. Broncos answered on their last series. And then the 76-yard flash from Langston Lewis to put the Chippewas back in front. 2 on the play clock here. They got it off. Lowry steps up. He can run with it. Has Great in front of him. Brock Lowry inside of Central Michigan territory. He goes.
Excellent decision on the part of Brock Lowry. He shifts his protection to the right side of the football field, and then you have the jet motion action as well. And what does that do? That vacates the premises on the part of defense on the left side, and Lowry takes off and gets positive yards for a huge gain.
Was the longest Western Michigan play of the game. 26 on the ground. You see where he stands in terms of rushing yards from FBS QBs in the month of October. Right up there with the top names in the country. Got pressure coming this time. Ball is out. That's live. Who can find it? Body's trying to pounce on it. Looks like it was recovered at the bottom of the pile by Gavin Dabo. Wow. So Dabo saves the day.
And Jackson with the timely cornerback blitz. And that's exactly what you want to do. You want to disguise it because no one's thinking that the cornerback's going to come from the backside. Lowry certainly wasn't thinking it. And boom, forces the fumble. Great play and execution on the part of the Chips.
Central Michigan has forced a turnover in every game this season. Nearly forced another one there. 2nd and 25, trying to get some yardage back. Had a target down the seam. It was Christian Leary just out of his reach. Pretty good play call and setup there. Gerard just didn't quite execute by inches.
Right, and Coach spoke about the issue with accuracy on the part of Lowry, and that's one element of this game that he has to improve, because had he been accurate right there, we'd probably have a scenario in which Christian Leary finds himself in the end zone.
The offensive coordinator, Walt Bell, up in the booth for Western Michigan. Sets up 3rd and 25, though, here. Not a lot in that playbook for Bell and the offensive staff on 3rd and 25. Lowry trying to hurdle over a man, led to a big hit. He fortunately pops back up. Lavaya Brown, the Honolulu native, crunched him at the apex of that leap.
Yeah, he crushed him at the apex. This is one heck of a hit right here as Lowry goes airborne and boom. He feels the effects.
You can see the Central Michigan defense pretty fired up too by the sound of that hit. That is the momentum and emotion of this rivalry. You can hear it, you can feel it, and if you lose it, you hear it from your neighbor year-round. Caleb Spann back to return this punt. Milmore to boot it away. Drifting back is Spann instead of his own 10. Well, here's our Week 9 Monday Night Football matchup. Trey McBride and the Cardinals square off against Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and the Cowboys. That's 8 Eastern on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the all-new ESPN app. Peyton and Eli on ESPN2 with special guest Charles Barkley. Charles is always so fun as a special guest. Coverage kicks off with NFL Live at 3 Eastern from AT&T Stadium. Then SVP and the Monday Night Countdown crew at 6 Eastern time. So last time Central Michigan at the football offensively was a 77-yard touchdown play to Langston Lewis. They run it this time with Biggins up the middle.
And up to Lowry Biggins.
And Jason, what we're just seeing out of Central Michigan's rushing attack is that the guys aren't really getting a chance to get to that 2nd and 3rd level because of the phenomenal job that Western Michigan's doing with that defensive front of getting penetration and clogging up the gaps.
How important is it for a team like Central Michigan to be playing with the lead, the way they style the run game?
Well, it certainly helps because what they can do is simply melt the clock. And when you have the ability to possess the football and keep the other team off the field, that's going to certainly help your cause.
Labus is perfect today. 5 of 5, 125 through the air. They'll pitch it on the handoff. Good footwork around the edge. Jarvarius Sims, the shutdown corner for Western Michigan, made the tackle there. He's been good today. Actually began his career at Central Michigan. Now on the flip side of this rivalry in a Western Michigan uniform.
And as a former DB, you love when you see cornerbacks in particular who are not known for tackling, making excellent open field tackles.
Crowd going to get amped up on 3rd and 6 here. Labus going to keep it. Dane Tucker got in there. Trying to push him back, and it's going to be 4th down.
Yeah, interesting call. Because you already read that it's man coverage because you have a defender going with the motion man. You've had much success passing the football. Why not take advantage of what's outside?
So timeout called there is we're 2 minutes and 12 seconds left on this first half clock. Getting close to the 2-minute timeout. You think about Western Michigan offensively, come up with the stop here. You still got the timeout and the 2-minute timeout to work with. So they're trying to turn the page here to get that offense out there and try to make something happen and potentially tie this game. Still have enough time to do it for sure in this half.
Well, first and foremost, I'm telling my punt return team, stay away from the punter. And once you take the football field, let Lowry do his job.
It's Blake Bosma back to return. Rare that you see a tight end return punts, but they do have him do it. Fair catch and some really good field position coming out for the Broncos.
Yeah, you don't expect him to return it, but you certainly expect him to catch it, and that is a rarity right there. Someone with his size catching a punt.
I guess that's right, the catching part of it. You can trust a tight end to do that. The big hands.
Sure hands. And we haven't even got to All-State. But with that being said,
right. Is it a little early promo plug?
Yeah, a little
company likes it.
Little tease.
Right.
But right here, what I want to see, run guys as decoys down the football field. And what that could do is give Lowry a bunch of real estate to work with if he chooses to pass or run.
They bring Talik Williams in motion, hand it off to that same side, and a powerful run. Jalen Buckley on the carry. Kind of leading by example, battling through injuries. His team battling down 7, 1:58 to go. We hit the 2-minute timeout. Just inside of 2 minutes to go in this first half. Western Michigan setting up with a good field position, down 7. 96th edition of Western Michigan, Central Michigan. Battle for the Victory Cannon Trophy. Have felt the hate on the field all afternoon. Wind kicking up a little bit. Going against the back of Brock Lowry in this Broncos offense here. Still has one timeout to work with, 2nd and 4. Hand it off, gaping seam up the middle. That was Buckley who got tripped up. Enough for the first down, it appears. See where they mark him. It's going to be 3rd down. But they say he got tripped up short by about an inch.
Yeah, you want that first down to stop the clock. His time is of essence.
Instead, it keeps ticking. They go back to Buckley. He does have the first down this time. Then brought down just inside the 40 by Jayon Jackson.
Now, at some point, Jason, they're going to have to make a decision on stretching the football field and taking a shot because, again, you're 40 yards away from pay dirt.
I was going to ask you, does this time constraint change the offensive philosophy? He can get out of bounds here. Smart play from Talik Williams on the reception to do so.
Well, with the vantage point of getting the clocks to stop at first down can certainly help the cause, and you can nickel and dime your way down the football field as long as it's 7 to 8 yard plus chunks.
And we talked about it. It's a medium, short passing range type of strategy most of the time.
That's when they're at their best. When Lowry's able to operate with the intermediate passing game.
Lowry 8 of 10 today through the air, 64 yards. Good pocket here for Lowry. Once one-on-one. Oh, he got hauled in. Balin Brooks inside of the 5, gain of 30.
And Balin is showing up and showing out. The former San Diego State transfer does a nice subtle job of pushing off and catching that football.
But Brooks going to line her right back up, bottom of your screen. Matched up against Kaylin Carroll. See if they run it or loft it up to him. They're going to run it. Trying to tie this game as the clock ticks down to 1:10 now. Take a look back at that last catch.
And this is what we call the overhead catch, and he hauls that bad boy in and then has the presence of mind to control the football as he hits the ground for a huge gain. You see it from this angle. Again, the DB is jousting with him for the positioning, but Brooks ends up winning the outcome.
Central Michigan, their first of the half, 30 seconds. Please reset the game clock for 1 minute and 12 seconds.
I heard it there. Central Michigan used a timeout. Try to talk this over. A little stunned after this Bronco team, to your point, does opt to air it out.
Yeah, that's exactly what you have to do. Give the defense something to think about. Vertical passing game. I know a lot of people think that Lowry is one-dimensional with his passing, but we've seen on several occasions in which he's able to hit that deep shot. And certainly Brooks came up big right there. But now the thing I'm wondering, Jason, is why are you continuing to run to the interior part of this defense for Central Michigan? Why not do something on the outside? Try the D and E gaps, if you will, as opposed to going through the A and B to try to score.
That's your guy, Jonathan Decker, stuffing the hole in there for Central Michigan. We'll see what they opt to do to attack it. Second and goal, still have the one timeout. The clock at 1:12. Buckley is the back. They'll fake it to him. Lowry to the end zone and incomplete. Hellman came around to the edge there.
And very unfortunate that Lowry made the sound decision right there to throw the football away as opposed to trying to force it into a place it had no business being.
Central Michigan defensive coordinator Sean Cronin patrolling the sidelines there. Open his defense and come up with a stop backed up inside of their own 5 with 1:07 to go in the half. Western Michigan trying to tie it into the locker room. Lowry lunging. Still alive, then brought down at about the 2 to set up what'll be 4th and goal and decision time as Kwiatkowski made another big tackle on the 8th play of this drive.
Well, I am not bringing the kicking game into the play if I'm the head coach, Taylor. I'm saying to myself, let's score a touchdown. Let's take the momentum into the half and go from there.
Second timeout called by Central Michigan as they prepare for potentially both scenarios of what Lance Taylor and Western Michigan opt to do. Lance Taylor has coached in a number of rivalry games as an assistant. Alabama, Auburn, Jets, Patriots, Stanford, Notre Dame, USC. He told us he feels this rivalry is right up there when it comes to what this means to both fan bases.
During the play, number 12 of the offense's helmet come off. By rule, this is subject to a 10-second subtraction. Western Michigan has elected to use their 3rd and final timeout to avoid the 10-second subtraction. Number 12 will have to stay out for 1 play.
So 12 is Brock Lowry for Western Michigan.
And if it's Jordan
Correction,
Kwiatkowski,
number 12 will come back in the game due to Western Michigan utilizing their timeout.
Well, that's big.
Yeah.
Subtle correction and a big one to be able to use your quarterback.
Exactly. And from a play design concept, I still want to see more activity with Lowry operating outside in the flat, curl the flat area as opposed to taking things in the interior. But maybe they saw something on film in which they keep trying this interior part of the defense for Central Michigan, but they keep coming up short.
So here we go. 4th and goal. They're going to keep the offense out there. Buckley the back, trying to tie the game. Lowry keeps it, got tripped up, and then the ball came out. Ball is out. Dakota Cochran may have knocked it free. Central Michigan has forced a turnover in every game this season. That theme continues on a monumental play at the end of this half.
And you hate to second guess Coach Bell, the offensive coordinator for Western Michigan, but at some point you have to give the outside a try. You've had limited success running in the middle, and as you lose the football right there, obviously that doesn't help the cause. You have to turnover downs anyway, but certainly right now, if you're Western Michigan, you are bemoaning the fact that you had excellent opportunity to score and you walk away with 0.
Decker collected it on the turf. Turnover battle even, and Central Michigan going to take a lead in the locker room. Some chippiness at the end.
Yeah, that will start a fight.
Yep. Frustration boiling over perhaps from Western Michigan in that turnover. They tried to get through the line there and saw Central Michigan was definitely going to need it.
Yeah, Ray Stewart says, I don't care if you take the knee. I'm going to inflict pain.
Every single play of this rivalry game going to be competed at the utmost level, utmost physicality and emotion.
Certainly. This is all part of rivalry week.
Once again, doesn't matter if you're doing it in this rivalry.
Yeah, no brother Lauren there.
Coach Drinkle heads off the field, his first time as head coach in this rivalry, and his team has a 14-7 lead at the half. Central Michigan is 5-0 this season when they lead at the half. Their biggest game of the season so far. They've got the lead at the break.
This next band has been taking the musical world by storm for the last 8 years. A rebel sister group from Brooklyn, New York, Lawrence, has continued to grow their fan base and expand musical horizons, featuring multiple horn players and mixing rock with hip-hop and funk. Their sound is finding its way all across the world. We're happy to feature their music for you today. So this is our version of What You Want.
You're watching ESPN College Football. Welcome back. Day after Halloween, a fun start to the 96th edition of Central Michigan, Western Michigan, 14-7 as we near the second half of action. A 76-yard Langston Lewis touchdown catch, the difference maker right now between these two teams. Jason Ross Jr. alongside Gerard Cherry. Pumped up for the second half. Gerard, your thoughts and takeaways from the first two quarters?
Really, it was an example of what takes place when you don't play clean football, because both teams were able to do what? Extend drives through the fact that the defenses were doing what? Creating penalties, and which is uncharacteristic for Western Michigan, and certainly Central Michigan does a good job of not being penalized as well. But ultimately, what impresses me is the fact that Central Michigan, in a hostile environment, has found a way to take the lead.
Definitely played a key role in our all-state good hands plays. Those penalties for Western Michigan that prolonged the opening scoring series for Central Michigan. Going to see the punch in here.
That's right. Biggins shows you why he's one of the big men on campus with that drive right there to get the touchdown. And then Labus says, you know what? I need to hold on to that football tighter, as Nadame Tucker belts him for the fumble and the recovery for Western Michigan. And then from that turnover leads to 6 points as Lowry goes into the end zone for the score. But Lewis says, here's my reenactment of Carl Lewis as he gets into a sprint and outruns all the would-be tacklers for Western Michigan and goes into the house for the score.
Looked like a track star there.
Yeah, he certainly did. And our impact player, one of them that is, Decker falls on the fumble to regain the ball for West Central Michigan.
Well, it was a promising drive for Western Michigan that didn't result in any points. Continued the theme of Central Michigan forcing a turnover in every game this season. Again, that's the subtle difference right now. This rivalry, 2 out of the last 3 years decided by 10 points or less. Subtle differences can be so key. Central Michigan going to receive to begin this second half.
Kick out of bounds. Kicking team number 31. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First out.
And that penalty yardage will tack on to the kick there. So here's our first half stats. What's separating these two teams right now, Gerard?
In my mind, it's penalties. Is that you're extending drives through the penalties. Now, you look at the passing yards, you say, okay, that's not that great of a differential. But rush yards-wise, give credit to Western Michigan. They're holding down the fort, but they find themselves still trailing with the defense giving such a great effort in stopping the run.
Saw a blend of Joe Labus along with Marcus Beeman in the opening half at QB. Labus perfect. 5 for 5, $125, and a touchdown. Trying to stay perfect here, dumps it off, and he will not stay perfect. A big hit. Tate Halleck coming down from his safety position. Looking for Dryden. Halleck, the big safety, 6'4", 200+ pounds. Michigan State transfer. That's why they call him kind of a hybrid type of guy, because he does more than just play safety.
Yeah, right there you saw the football version of a hot potato, as no one wanted to possess that football. Very dangerous play.
It's like you as a fry cook with your second dream job that you have.
That's right. Yeah, flip him over.
So first incompletion of the day so far for Labus. He's fake it to Biggins. Similar look. And once again popped out. Good timing. Once more looking for McIntosh. Broken up by Saipaia.
Yeah, Tommy McIntosh is not doing anything special here. He's just finding where the defenders aren't at. But when the ball is called your way, you have to hold on to that football and make a play. But give credit to the secondary for doing a nice job of batting the football out of his hands as Davis comes up with the play.
Sets up third down, allows this crowd to get back into it early. Labus going to keep it, trying to cut up the field. Got to get a chunk of it back, but not enough for a first down. Joey Pope came over to finish off the play defensively for the Broncos.
And that's exactly what you want to do if you're Western Michigan. You want to create a scenario where it's a 3 and out, and you have the ability to put your offense on the football field. Now, if I'm Western Michigan, I'm also being very alert for some type of a trick play and giving you a punt safe look.
Obasma back to return this punt. And watch that go out of bounds. Short punt once again. The importance of this game. Victory Cannon Trophy on the line, bragging rights year-round. On top of that, incredibly crucial game in the standings. Buffalo winning earlier today, technically for now sliding into sole possession of second place. But these two teams, Gerard, aiming to knock them up right there at 4-1.
Exactly. We see that parity once again is running amok in the Mid-American Conference, and you certainly want to keep pace by winning today.
Back comes out Brock Lowry. Had a stellar opening half. That last drive, though, that marched down the field, tail end of the second quarter, resulted in the fumble. Quick dish, get it out quickly. Now looking for blocks along the near side. Goes to Brescia. Brought down by Dakota Cochran, one of the key linebackers for Central Michigan.
Yeah, and Brescia, simply put, isn't out there in the flat, picks up positive yards, and that's what you want on first down. Create a scenario where the down and distance on second down can open up your offense even more, because there's not a panic mode because of the fact that you have such a short distance to go.
Bring Talik Williams in motion this time. Quick handoff. Buckley slipped out of the initial tackle, then Cochran came over to bring him down.
And that was a Herculean effort to just get back to the line of scrimmage. As you saw right there, great penetration on the part of Central Michigan in stopping Buckley in the backfield. But because he's a really quality back, he keeps his legs moving and gets back to the line of scrimmage.
I love when you pull up multi-syllable words to describe tackles. Herculean. It's a great one for this rivalry. 3rd and 2. Opening minutes of this second half. They go back to the grounds. Trying to stretch for it was Buckley. Did he get enough is the question mark. Looks like he did. Elijah Ricard made the tackle, but not before they moved the chains.
And Jason, we're seeing Western Michigan starting to settle down on their offensive approach. Not panicking because they're trailing by 7. I really like what I'm seeing thus far from this offense.
Devin Miles will come in at running back here. They did have the long pass play on that drive we referenced a couple of times, tail end of the second quarter, but getting back more so to the pacing we're used to for the Broncos. Brock Lowry going to roll out. Speaking of long pass plays, that one incomplete, intended for Williams. Kalen Carroll, the talented corner for Central Michigan, on the coverage.
I'm all about taking shots, but there's nothing wrong with being methodical. And right there, they got a matchup in which they had man-to-man coverage, so you appreciate it, but give credit to the defensive back because he was glued to the would-be receiver.
And Kalen Carroll had an interception last week. He's been super impressive. Defensive coordinator Sean Cronin went out of his way to point him out in our meeting earlier this week. Second and 10. Dumping it off to Avion Chenault. The impressive freshman. Looks like he has enough for a first down. One of just 2 true freshmen on this roster that get playing time. He's the only one in the offense. Picks up 11 there.
Yeah, first time we called his name today, and I thought he'd be more active in the game plan, but hey, he comes up at the right time to pick up positive yards as he's tackled by Spahn.
These two teams separated by 2 points a season ago. 16-14 win for Central Michigan. 2 out of the last 3 decided by 10 points or less. Flip it out, Chenault again has a block set up. It was Dryden who gave him a block, then dancing down the sideline. Inside of the 30 he goes.
So I guess, Jason, they were saving him for after the half because it's been a drive in which he has been the featured receiver, that being Avion Chenault. And right here, it's just nothing special about it, just an outlet pass, and he does the rest. Great blocking on the part of his tight end, Bosma.
Letting him loose now. 4 catches, 65 yards last week. Offensive coordinator Walt Bell said he is the biggest upside of them all when it comes to this receiver group. Go up the middle this time, and they are moving and grooving down inside of the 25 with Devin Miles.
Nothing worse for a defensive coordinator when the offense is having success passing and running the football, because that puts you in a position where you do not know what to call in order to slow them down.
7th play of the series. Their 8th play now coming up.
Going back to Chenault, he made an interesting comment that, hey, you hope to keep this guy around for 2 seasons.
This day and age, that's the hope. Very talented kid from Lexington, Kentucky. Hand it off. Talik Williams this time got a block around the edge. One thing you notice when you turn on the Western Michigan film is anyone and everyone is willing to block. at any particular time.
And that's such a crucial point, Jason, that you make, in that speaks to the idea that these guys are selfless. They're not making it about them. And when you play the receiver position and you're willing to block, that tells me that, hey, one, you're selfless and they're all about the team, but more importantly, that's going to help the cause. And when your number does come your way, you get that pass, by all means, take advantage of it.
Big 3rd and 2 here. Right at the edge of the red zone. They keep this drive alive and moving down inside the 15. Pile pushes to the 10. Jalen Buckley, former MAC Freshman of the Year, down at the bottom of it, carrying this group of bodies here.
Yeah, Jalen lowers his shoulder, and then the convoy comes along with him for the ride. And at some point, when are we going to call the player to be down? As a former defensive player, yes, I'm being biased here.
Immediate timeout.
Whistles take a little longer to get blown in rivalry games?
No, it should not.
14-7, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Kalamazoo. The next UFC Fight Night is tonight exclusively on ESPN+. The prelims are going on right now. The main card begins at 7 Eastern, highlighted by the featherweight main event, Garcia and Onama. Watch on the all-new ESPN app.
Somebody need to wake her up.
Hanging around. It's going to be a tight game. Got to wake up for this. Lowry. Got to wake up every time he's running the football if you're a defensive player. Not afraid to lower his shoulder down. Michael Heldman made the tackle as they get down inside of the 10. Last time they were inside of the 10, they fumbled. See the red zone opportunities today really not up to par with how good they've been in this territory of the field all season long. Got a block set up there for Buckley. Broke a tackle, trying to push the pile. He does! Into the end zone, and now the Broncos do have a chance to tie it up.
This is where being in a weight room matters. Jalen Buckley should have been tackled around the 3 or 4 yard line, but because this guy can squat the gym, he shows you his strength, he shows you his vision, and he finds himself in the end zone. This is just so impressive from a want-to standpoint. I'm stopped right there, but no, I'm not. I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep pushing as I take 2 defenders into the end zone for the score.
A little dinged up after that run. Came into this game with nagging injuries. And he's gotten the vast majority of the carries nonetheless. That latest one for the touchdown. And Domsky's extra point knocks us up at 14. Gerard, you can see the work in the weight room on display here.
That's right. Great job on the part of Buckley of showing the strength to get into that end zone.
We're going to decide who's the better team.
It is wide open.
Can you believe it? Who's in the driver's seat to get to the playoffs?
The top 25 rankings reveal and 12-team CFP projection. Tuesday on ESPN.
Tuesday going to be another big week in the ever-evolving chapter of this college football season that has been wacky each week. So let's take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Chick-fil-A. See Ohio State and Indiana up at the top 2. Texas A&M, that big week last week against LSU. Vandy lost today. 21 fourth-quarter points from Vandy. Not enough to cap a potential comeback against Texas. Lance Taylor, head coach for Western Michigan, told us that his opening press conference is when he found out how much this rivalry means. Everyone wanted to talk to him about the Central Michigan game. His group has just tied it up at 14 apiece as Biggins lets that sail. Again, Lance Taylor, he's coached as an assistant in Notre Dame, USC, Auburn, Alabama, Jets, Patriots, Stanford, Notre Dame. Said this rivalry is right on up there with the best in the country.
Certainly is, and he lost me when he said Stanford because that was my rival in college because I went to the University of California at Berkeley, a.k.a. Cal. With that being said, though, he's done a great job of his halftime speech because his football team is out here playing at a high level.
This quarterback, 5 of 7 today. Labus going to hand it off. Townsend powering through. Brought down to the interior by Aragawi.
That's one of the more effective runs for Central Michigan today, who are normally very productive in running the football. But Western Michigan's defense has just been amazing at stopping the run thus far today.
Prior to that carry, held to 18 yards total on the day. fewest in a game since 40 yards against Pitt. Get it up to 22 now on
Well
the
below
updated
average.
stat. Well below. Averaging 250 a game over the last 5. Go back to Townsend, was so impressive in that win against UMass last week. Starting to find the groove on the ground there. Jarvarius Sims with the tackle. That lone scoring drive to begin things for Central Michigan in their opening series, prolonged by the penalties of Western Michigan. But you did see them have balance on that drive overall.
Certainly, and one of the few times, Jason, when we saw a running back for Central Michigan actually get to the second and third level of the Western Michigan defense.
One of those running formations, they go right back to it. Up the gut again, Townsend again. Matt Drinkle, he has the backgrounds coming over from Army, and those type of formations, you see a lot of fullbacks, Rusty Van Wetzinga, the pro style, old school look. It's fun to watch when they're moving and grooving with it.
It certainly is, and we call it a copycat league, and right there, all that Central Michigan did was run the same play, but to the opposite gap.
As we mentioned, Jim Chapin told us not the prettiest offense in America, and we're not going to apologize for it. Go right back at you on the ground there, lowering the shoulder is Townsend again.
Yeah, and they're getting back to their identity. They somewhat got away from it in the first half. Now, to their credit, they led in the first half, but now you're seeing what they're known for, which is ground and pound and enforcing their will with the offensive front on the defensive front.
Brings up 3rd and short. Sold out crowd making their presence felt. 1 for 6 on 3rd down today. Labus keeps it. Got hit promptly. Does he have enough?
It's gonna be close.
Back on their own half of the field, James Camden.
Extracurriculars.
The discipline element of this rivalry starting to creep in again. Here's our referee, Rich Edwards.
After the play is over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 59. 15-yard penalty. The down counted. We will play 1st and 10.
They get Brady Ploucher there, the Allen Park, Michigan native.
And he's pulling, but he says, you know what, not only am I going to block you, I'm going to take you to the sideline and bury you. And that is truly the situation that comes into play when you're playing against your rival. I'm pretty sure against Ball State, he would not block that way.
We've got some awesome camera people on this crew. He took the defender out of the shot of the camera there. That's how extracurricular it got. 14-14 with under 6 to go now in this 3rd quarter.
Oh, nice play.
Nadane Tucker again. He has been phenomenal all season. Another great tackle there. Looks like Saipaia ended up on top of Labus as well.
And the level of skill and speed it takes to make this play, you come backside and you bring down a very challenging runner in Brock Townsend for the tackle for a loss.
9.5 sacks on the season. Had the forced fumble earlier today. Top 5 in the nation. He and Nathan Voorhees of Ball State, 2 players from the MAC, both in the top 5 in total sacks. Langston Lewis was in motion. They found him earlier going into a tight window. That was pulled down. DC Temple with the grab. Cooking for a 1st down.
You're talking about throwing into a crowd of jerseys. That's exactly what Labus does on this play, but to his credit, DC comes through for him because that should have been and could have been an interception.
When he throws it, usually finds the target, at least near the vicinity of whoever he wants his hands. Squeezed it in there, remains incredibly efficient on the day. 6 of 8, 138, was 10 of 11 last week. They go back to the grounds. Micah Davis Michigan transfer was underneath that pile defensively, along with Sefa Saipaia.
And more physical play taking place. This has been exactly what you want to see in a rivalry game in which both teams are getting after each other and playing a very physical brand of football.
We've had umpires knocked down at the bottom of piles. Dan Montgomery was okay, fortunately. He's back up.
Ask him that tomorrow.
We're back up. You've been doing your tire drills in the booth. Emotion riding high, 14 all. A big game in the MAC standings. On top of this rivalry, another crunch in the backfield. Saipaia again in there.
And Jason, we talk about a defense being sound, and what that entails is doing your responsibilities. And right there, an excellent job of the defense of one, having contained and force, not allowing Labus to get outside to pick up positive yards.
10th play of the drive. 2 for 7 on 3rd down today are the Chips. Got a block from his running back Townsend, then threw it over the middle on the crossing route. That was hauled in by Tyson Davis, but there is a flag down at the 40-yard line. We'll see if this ends up standing.
Holding, defense, number 1. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
And on this play, I'm anticipating that they're going to bring the heat. Instead, they decided to go more conservative and rely on the 4-man rush, and it did not get the job done, but it would have been negated anyway with the holding.
Now in plus territory. Couple of good drives from both teams in this quarter. Central Michigan trying to pay this one off with points. It is Lewis on the grab, made a man miss, and took a big pop at the 45. Micah Davis leading the way on the tackle.
Micah Davis bringing the pain. You can hear that all the way up here as another penalty flag, and maybe they called him for hitting him too hard.
Townsend's. So he came and made the tackle. Lewis was pointing to his head as if there was some contact up there. We'll see what the refs come away with here.
Personal foul, targeting, defense, number 18. The previous play is under further review.
Saw Langston Lewis kind of pointing to his own head as if he felt the contact there. And now we'll go under review for potential targeting.
And as we said, you can certainly hear the contact up here where we're at from our vantage point. And the question is, does he lead with his head? So he comes in right here. Yeah, well, that's an interesting thing because Lewis turns his shoulder, and at the point where he's at, you're asking the defender to also match his body language, and really that's a challenging thing to do. But I could also see where they could make it a potential targeting call because he certainly did lead with his head. I don't think it was intentional, but that doesn't matter in this day and age. But you see there, that's a side shot, so I'd say no. But as we already know, I'm very biased towards the defense.
So the indicators you're looking for targeting include but not limited to that launch, leading with the helmet, shoulder, forearm. It's kind of helmet there. That's what Lewis, you can see, is pointing to.
Is it the crown though, Jason? Because
that would be the question mark.
Yeah, because that was really from the side.
The radius at the top of the helmet.
After review, there is no foul for targeting. Will be second down.
Good call.
So no targeting, big decision there. This stage of the game, 2:31, 14 apiece. You see there our criteria, bottom left-hand corner of your screen there, forcible contact to the head or neck area of a defenseless player, and any forcible hit with the crown of the helmet. So refs felt that play did not fall underneath the criteria. And now, for the first time in this half, we will see Marcus Beeman coming at QB. Saw this change multiple times in the first half, specifically for running purposes. They go to the ground right on cue there. Joey poked the tackle, but Beeman comes in, does his job,
And it appears that this defensive front for Western Michigan is starting to get worn down, because in the first half, you were not seeing these second and third level runs on the part of Central Michigan, right up the middle.
3rd and short. They lead Beeman in. Big play this part of the field. Ducking through traffic and has enough. It looks like for a first down. He does.
Games are won and lost in the trenches. As we speak, Central Michigan is taking over this football game. They're doing an excellent job of getting 4 to 5 yards per carry, just simply running up the middle.
Approaching the final minute of this 3rd quarter. 14th play of the drive. Another one of those jumbo set looks for Townsend to run. Gervarius Sims with the tackle. Hyped up the former Central Michigan Chippewa. Now on the flip side of the rivalry, playing for Western Michigan.
Yeah, Sims comes from the backside to make that tackle before Townsend could really get going to get to that 2nd and 3rd level.
They bring Beeman back in. See Townsend limping a bit there. Beeman met in the hole quickly. Race Stewart, who rotates in at defensive tackle, began his career at Indiana. That may be the final play of the quarter.
And Race makes his presence felt as he gets that TFL.
This is the end of the 3rd quarter.
Victory Cannon Trophy on the line. 2 out of the last 3 meetings decided by 10 points or less. Last year, 2 points separated these teams. Today we're tied 14-14, 4th quarter coming up next. 14-all, start of the fourth quarter. See in the middle of that shot, Central Michigan offensive coordinator Jim Chapin. Both of his parents are Central Michigan grads. It's his first year in the role, but he knows this rivalry so well. Went to Central Michigan camps growing up. He knows what this fan base feels when they beat Western. They did a season ago on an important drive right now, moving the football well. Beeman's in at QB, crowd getting loud. 3rd and 10 coming up. Beeman gonna throw, first throw of the game, looking for Davis, touchdown! What a time to call Beeman's first throw! Are you kidding me?
We were wondering and waiting for Beeman to throw the football. At some point, he had to break that tendency of being just a running quarterback. And Joshua Franklin was looking for help from the officials, but no one's going to bail you out in that situation. You have to stay on your man. Yes, you got pushed, but no one's going to call that. Keep your feet. And Tyson Davis for the score. Beeman shocks the world. I'm pretty sure everyone understands that. Okay, another running play, but no. He came to pass.
We were just talking about offensive coordinator Jim Chapin. He talked to us about switching up the look a week ago against UMass. Today, waits until this moment in the fourth quarter to switch up the look, and Central Michigan takes the lead. The college basketball season tips off next Monday. We're already here, and we start with the 3rd annual We Play Women's event in Paris, France. Number 16 Baylor squares off against number 7 Duke at noon Eastern on ESPN. Then on ESPNU, Cal takes on 19th ranked Vandy. You can watch both on the all-new ESPN app. Love the sound of the ESPN Hoops music coming back pretty soon here. Devin Miles is back to return with his team now down 7. Cade Graham to kick off. Afternoon turning to evening here in Kalamazoo.
Fair catch for the Broncos. Fair catch for Even Boone Nelson. Broncos first and 10 starting at the 25-yard line.
And that was a returnable ball. I don't understand why Boone Nelson fair catches everything that does or does not come his way.
Second time it happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
Could certainly return that.
And it looks like they're kicking deliberately away from Devin Miles,
which
who
makes
had
sense.
A school record 218 returning yards a week ago. So back comes out Brock Lowry. Impressive drive last time they had it. The Central Michigan most recent series, 16 plays, 8 minutes and 50 seconds. You wonder how much time these teams will have the ball offensively in this fourth quarter. Dakota Cochran makes a great open field tackle that time on Malik Dudon.
Right, you're asking Christian Leary to block Cochran. That's a matchup he's not going to win. You got linebacker, big linebacker at that versus a wide receiver. Good luck.
That was the 6th tackle for a loss for Central Michigan today. Lowry going to hand it off. And Jonathan Decker on the interior, guy who you really like, Gerard, making the tackle there on Mataele. Sets up what's going to be 3rd down on the horizon here. Western Michigan does like these medium range scenarios. You wonder what they pull out of the playbook here.
Yeah, certainly a manageable down and distance, but you wish you would have had the run that we just saw on 1st down as opposed to 2nd.
Third and 6. A lot of blocks set up for Lowry on the left side. Throws it downfield. What did Balin Brooks? Incomplete and multiple flags out. Kalen Carroll back on the coverage.
A situation where Lowry should run the football right there. You throwing a very difficult and challenging pass. There was a lot of real estate in front of you to pick up the 1st down with your legs, but you opted to pass.
Defense, number 6. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic, 1st down.
So they get Carroll on the call. Move the chains.
See, that is certainly a hold, and maybe Lowry saw that initially, and hence why he threw it anyway. Yeah, but that's a hard pass to complete on the corner route. But Brooks tells him, hey, Carroll, you need to stop holding me.
Both teams have committed penalties on key 3rd down plays that have prolonged drives. That's been an important part of the narrative of this game. They were looking screen initially. Lowry rolls opposite way. Flag down, throw downfield. It's kind of back in the holding zone, though. We'll see if this stands. Chenault's on the catch, but hold on a minute.
Holding, offense, number 51. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. 1st down.
And that's a challenge of an offensive lineman who's dealing with a dual threat quarterback at that. Lowry could be on one side of the football field and then reverse pivot and go somewhere else. And that puts you in a bind as this personal protector in that you don't know where he's going to be and you end up holding. You see, okay, I'm looking to the left, but you know what? I think I'm going to go to my right. And in the process of him going to his right, you have a hold take place.
So that nullifies what would have been a gain of 23 yards. Swing it out. Block set up out of the outer edge this time. Jayon Jackson on the tackle. Salik Williams makes the grab. More chippiness on the sideline. Western Michigan fans loving it.
The level of disdain and dislike is
a lot of emotion.
Full display right now. Have to be smarter if you're Central Michigan. You don't want to sustain drives.
After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct foul. Defense, number 15. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Just bailed him out.
That is number 15's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
Take a look here. Caleb Spann over on the sideline.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And you know who's always involved? Blake Bosma.
It's the 2nd time he's been involved in one today. Rage baiting is what the kids call it nowadays, Gerard.
Yeah.
So the hole opens up here for Lowry. Stepping inside of the 40. You really can't give these offenses more than they already have to work with. The penalties, although it brings some levity to these moments, they're serious infractions that can hurt you in a game like this.
Right. Don't take the rage bait.
Right, don't take the rage bait.
Relax as much as you possibly can. But that was an excellent run on the part of Lowry of showing you why he's such a pivotal part of this offense and his ability to pick up first downs with his legs.
So the rage bait drive continues. 1st and 10. Plus territory now for Lowry. Good blocking for Buckley. Buckley with a stiff arm out of bounds.
Buckley with the stiff arm.
Stiff arm with the injuries he's been dealing with. But hey, in a rivalry game, you break that rule.
Watch this, though. Watch the quarterback. I know it's all about Buckley, but watch Lowry. This is why his teammates love him. He takes Cochran and knocks him to the ground as Buckley picks up positive yards.
Brock Lowry led his high school in tackles. He was a safety. They're throwing a block offensively. Just loves the contact.
Very uncharacteristic of a quarterback. Most don't want that smoke.
He wants all of it. Pitches it here. Now Buckley dancing again. Patiently picking his way up the sideline. Elijah Gordon knocked him out of bounds. Western Michigan continues to move on this home field.
And Buckley was so smooth with that because you're thinking, okay, he's about to get tackled for a loss. He finds a way to pick up the positive yards, keeping his balance and showing you why he's a premier running back in the Mid-American Conference.
He gets a breath. Lolo Mataele comes in at running back. Whistles prior to what would have been the 7th play of the drive.
Delay game. Offense, number 12. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Those signals just came in too late from the sideline of the adjustment.
Exactly, partner. Have a situation where one of the players is late to get off the football field. And this is where you want to play clean football. You cannot afford to give up 5 yards, especially when you're trailing by 7.
Every inch, every yard matters. These rivalry matchups, and this one to try to slide into 2nd place in the MAC standings as well. With their eyes set on a MAC championship down the road as we hit the month of November, this could be a turning point and a huge win for whoever pulls it out. Both at 3-1 in MAC play, identical. Fitting for today's 96th all-time meeting. This battle for the Victory Cannon Trophy came right down to the wire a season ago. Brock Lowry wants revenge this year. He's got an empty backfield. Steps up, but the throw is off the mark, looking for Baylon Brooks.
Yeah, empty backfield set, so that alerts everyone it's more than likely going to be a pass. But with Brock Lowry, you never know because he has the ability to run the football from that positioning. And right here, it's going to be very critical to pick up some positive yards to keep this drive alive if you're Western Michigan. And at the same time, you appreciate the physical play on the part of this Western Michigan offense, but they're going to have to find a way to get the job done right here. This is a pivotal play on this drive.
0 for 3 on 3rd and long. You consider that 9 yards or more. 3rd and 15 here. Dump it over the middle. Trying to do some work after the catch is Bosma. Maddox Blackwell makes the tackle. Now it's decision time.
And what you want to see from Lowry and company is, okay, if you identify that there's a hot blitz coming, now he did the right thing by getting rid of the football quickly, but you may want to keep Bosma in there and go for max protect look. That way you can go more vertical in the passing game, especially when you're looking at 3rd and forever.
So they opt to go with the field goal unit here. Palmer Domsky going to come out from 46 yards to try to make it a 4-point game. Season long is 49. That was really clean off his foot. 21-17 with 9 minutes to go. The Central Michigan lead trims down to 4. Coming up at 7:30 Eastern on ABC and the all-new ESPN app, the final game of our triple header. Number 14 Tennessee hosts number 18 Oklahoma in Knoxville. Big SEC on ABC showdown tonight. They amped up for that one. Another rankings reveal on Tuesday. Lowry Biggins back to return. Western Michigan crowd watched their team trim this Central Michigan lead to 4 on the last series. Hunter Smith to kick it off. Now Central Michigan's offense comes out. And when you think about the average drive time in this game for these two offenses, kind of formulated on styles that do take up time. Average drive time about 5 minutes and change over the last 3 series combined for these teams. So theoretically, you look at the clock, 9:01 to go. You got about a drive left, maybe a drive and a half, if that theme continues.
Exactly, because they've done a great job, both squads on the offensive side of the ball, of keeping possession with it by turning out the clock with the mix of run and pass.
Marcus Beeman in at QB. He threw the touchdown in the last series. That was his only throw. And now he runs it here up to about his own 27. Just can't get over how good of a call that was from offensive coordinator Jim Chapin. Mixing up the look. It's run, 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 run when Beeman comes in. And then all of a sudden he throws a dime.
Yeah, that's offensive coordination in its highest levels, in that you're selling that idea to defense. You have a running quarterback in, but what do? You coordinate that he passes the football and it leads to a big score.
There's offensive coordinator Jim Chapin, a rising star in the coaching industry. 2nd and 7 here. And Beeman keeps it. So you bring Townsend in at running back, who gets carries fairly often when he is the back in. Good deception there. Beeman kept it. However, you got a huge 3rd down coming up.
You certainly do, and Beeman goes back and watches this. He's going to wish he gave Townsend the football, because he would still probably be running had he had handed that ball off to him as opposed to keeping it.
keeps it. Third down. Needs the edge. Oh, Halleck met him on the sideline. We'll see where they mark this. Looks to be short.
And this is form tackling at its finest for Pollock in that he meets Beeman at the point of attack and wins. As Beeman turns the football up. Hi, my name is Pollock. Nice to meet you. And the rest is history as he stops Beeman for the preventing of the third down conversion and now forcing Central Michigan to punt the football.
That might be the best tackle we've seen all day.
Yeah, form tackle at its finest.
Tate Halleck, a phenomenal job there. Bosma back. There he catches it. So a huge tackle from Tate Halleck sets the Western Michigan offense to come back out next. Brock Lowry when we return. AT&T keeps us connected with today's best moments. We got two of them for you. So this drive for Western Michigan that was a long one didn't result in any points though. Stand from the Central Michigan defense. Then this call. Marcus Beeman going to Tyson Davis. Only throw we've seen from Beeman today. Resulted in the touchdown that at the time put Central Michigan up 21-14. Western Michigan cuts into the lead with the field goal. And now their offense trying to come back out in the drive where they have intentions of trying to take the lead down 21-17 with 7 minutes to go. Lowry ducks it, get a good block. Lowry up to the 40, then the 45. Ricard pushes him out to save even more yardage. Gain of 17.
If you don't have force and contain, Lowry will make you pay. And what I love about the play is the fact that Lowry says, okay, I'm going to fake to one side, but go the opposite direction. Nice block on part of his receiver. First down.
Quick screen pass this time. It's Leary through a tunnel. What a move. Christian Leary showcasing the footwork that Gerard, you showed in the booth earlier today.
That's right. Quick on his toes right there was Leary because he should have been tackled for a loss but found a way to get positive yards, simply put because he was quicker and faster than everyone else trying to tackle him.
It was a gain of 8.
A little up tempo. Slow down, maybe?
A little up tempo. I don't know.
Or maybe you might want to slow it down a little.
Statistically, you look at how long these drives have gone on. This hasn't been the theme today. Lowry 16-21, low snap, ball was out. Lowry scoped it up, now he has a lane. Lowry improvising, down inside of the 25.
And that is one of the more frustrating things that can happen opportunity on the defense. You think that you're going to have opportunity to make a big tackle for a lost play. It throws off the timing, but Lowry, to his credit, stays calm and cool and collected and finds himself in the third level picking up more positive yards. Again, this guy's an excellent open field runner. Makes one other defender miss and finally comes down after gaining a lot of yards.
Plays like that are how he won this starting job. Keeps it and gets bottled up this time. Jayon Jackson on the tackle. We talked about how Brock Lowry went to his head coach Lance Taylor day before the final scrimmage of camp and said, I want to go live, meaning he wants to be tackled, which quarterbacks don't normally get tackled in camp. He said, I need to be tackled to show you what I can do. That's the prime example of it right there.
Exactly. I've seen guys get cut from football teams because they tackled the quarterback when he had that red jersey on. And this guy, Lowry, wants to get hit.
Keeps it again. Lowers his shoulder again.
And this is a perfect example of his mentality. He could have easily have gone outside. Probably would have had more production to go along with it. But no, he wants the contact. We can't say it enough. Brock Lowry wants that smoke, as the kids say.
Rage baiting, wants the smoke.
Well, we got to come up with a couple more.
Are you getting them all in today? We still got 4 minutes, 22 seconds to go.
Thought he ate.
I like that. Buckley maneuvering his way through the teeth of that Central Michigan defense. Michael Heldman brought him down, and now 4th and inches. Coming up, a huge play in this football game. Biggest of the day that is now turned tonight in this rivalry.
And I see Buckley coming off the field, and that's a guy I want on the football field in this situation.
Empty backfield, interesting look. Lowry just tucks it, keeps it, and he has a first down.
And the beauty of this call has to do more with the formation than anything else, in that you purposely spread Central Michigan out, and that creates holes for Brock Lowry to pick and choose where he wants to go, and he finds himself going in the right direction as he picks up the first down.
Into crunch time. Clutch moments of this rivalry matchup that Western Michigan lost a season ago by 2 points. 3:05 to go in the fourth quarter, down 4. Lowry one-on-one. Out of the reach and incomplete of Talik Williams. That was Kalen Carroll again on the coverage.
And Brock Lowry is a very unselfish player, because right there, I'm convinced, had he just taken off, it was wide open for him to score.
I think everyone at Waldo Stadium was thinking the same thing. Wondering at least if he would call his own number there. Both teams with all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout down the stretch here. Lowry does keep it this time. Had a block in front of him, then got tripped up from behind. Looks like Brown, who caught his ankle. Maybe a touchdown saving catch of the ankle.
And that's what we call a shoestring tackle, because that's certainly what took place in order to save that touchdown from occurring on the part of Brock Lowry. And right now for Central Michigan, you are in the bind as a coordinator, because you're saying to yourself, okay, they're in pass situations, but they're still going to run the football. So what do? I would put a spy on Lowry and say, wherever he goes, spy, you go with him to shut him down.
3rd and 5. Lowry to the end zone, one-on-one, broken up. Excellent coverage there from Kalen Carroll. Balin Brooks, the intended target. And Kalen Carroll, who Central Michigan defensive coordinator Sean Cronin pointed out to us earlier this week, who has had an incredible season, continues it here.
And Kalen does textbook technique here. He jams with the opposite hand off the line of scrimmage, and then finds a way to get his head a turnaround to make a play on the football as well. Great play on the part of Kalen Carroll.
Well, Gerard, we say it again. Biggest play of the game.
Certainly.
4th and 5. They brought Williams in motion. Quick whistle before the snap. timeout called, and we'll take the break with them. First timeout called by Western Michigan with 2:13 to go in the game. Huge game in the MAC standings. These two teams with dreams of a conference championship down the road. For now, the Victory Cannon Trophy on the line. This the biggest play of the game. 4th and 5 for Western Michigan. Down 4. Mata'ele, the running back. Lowry will roll. Lowry throws back in the end zone. Toe tapping. Touchdown. Talik Williams. As clutch as they come.
Create a mismatch, locating the mismatch, and exploiting the mismatch is all what occurred on that particular play. Tariq Williams against a very quality player in Jordan Kwiatkowski, but here's the deal. Jordan plays linebacker, not nickel or dime or cornerback. So that type of mismatch you take full advantage of.
This rivalry has been full of moments in close games. Lowry fired up after his throw gives the Broncos the lead. Domsky's extra point makes it a 3-point game.
Yeah, anytime you have a guy weighing over 220 plus pounds and he's chasing Talik Williams, Talik is going to win that matchup with guys his size. As you see, Kwiatkowski is trying to chase him, but to no avail. As you see right here, makes that move. You cannot put Kwiatkowski in that situation against a very dangerous guy in the open field. Again, exploit the mismatch when you locate it, and that's exactly what Central Michigan did. Excuse me, Western Michigan did.
We talked to Brock Lowry earlier this week. He was fired up for moments just like that, the moments you dream of as a quarterback, a guy who didn't have a ton of offers out of high school. He was recruited as a safety by some schools. Western Michigan gave him the chance to be a quarterback, and he comes up huge on the brightest and biggest of stages, now underneath the lights. In a rivalry game that means a lot to these fan bases, means a lot to this state. If you grew up in Michigan, you know that the people on your screen that you're looking at right now, they take this seriously year-round. It is a year-round bragging rights state.
They certainly do. And for Central Michigan, no need to panic. You have put on display that you have explosive play capability, especially when it comes to passing the football. So this is certainly going to come down to the wire.
With 2:08 left, you have the 2-minute timeout and 3 timeouts. The crowd going to make their voices felt louder than they have all game. Labus pumps, throws, Townsend with the catch. There's a flag down. Javarius Sims and James Camden over there on the tackle. We'll see what this flag is for. Referee Rich Edwards.
Holding. Offense, number 76. 10-yard penalty. First down.
And right there, you cannot leave Nadane Tucker alone. You have to chip him. Asking a lot from a tackle to go one-on-one in a passing situation against one of the premier pass rushers in the MAC. You're going to lose that matchup more often than not.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
So we've hit the 2-minute timeout. Joe Labus in Central Michigan trying to march down the field, down 3 with 2 minutes left. Lance Taylor on the right side, Matt Drinkle on the left side. 2 minutes left in this matchup in a game that will end up being huge in the MAC standings. When you look at the top 5, Buffalo won earlier today. So they, for now, slide into sole possession of second place. These two teams trying to match them there with that 4-1 mark. First and 20 after the penalty. Trying to get some of that yardage back. Labus, that ball deflected! Was it picked off? Marcel Tyler hold it in!
The ruling on the field is the ball was tipped into an interception. First down, Western Michigan.
Tipped and vacuumed in by Marcel Tyler at 6'4", 270. A big man INT in the biggest of moments.
And Tyler and company plays volleyball, because one of the coaching points for the defensive front is that if you're in a stalemate, it's a passing situation, become a volleyball player and hold your hands up. And not only does he block the football, but Tyler also intercepts it as well. That will certainly get him props with the receivers, the DBs, and everybody else in Western Michigan fandom, because that is a sensational play on the part of Marcel Tyler.
Wow.
There's that gold hat.
Tipped it, got off a block almost, and then hold it in. And now Lowry moving the pile here. Kwiatkowski holds him up. Now you start to get the timeout that will need to be taken by Central Michigan. When you think about
Central Michigan,
the
their first of the half, 30 seconds.
That still remain for their offense to get back out there. You, of course, need to hold Western Michigan minimum to a field goal. Playing for the Victory Cannon Trophy. On the line, Western Michigan won this rivalry by 2 points a season ago. Central Michigan by 2 points a season ago. Western Michigan looking for an answer and revenge today. So when you think about CMU's offense trying to get back out there, you need to hold the minimum to a field goal. Using these timeouts going to be crucial to get a couple of quick tackles.
It certainly will be, because again, you want to bend but don't break and force a field goal at worst if you're Central Michigan. That is for sure, because there's still some time left if you can't get the football back into your offense's hands.
1:48 left. Down to 2 timeouts now. Lowry will pull and navigate up the middle.
Nice run. And if you're Lowry, you just want to make sure that you're going forward.
Timeout.
Force all those timeouts to be utilized by Central Michigan.
30 seconds.
Going back to that play in which Tyler had the sensational play, the funny thing about it, Jason, is that on some levels, he got defeated on that play. So I call that you must be living right, because he throws his hand up, bats the ball down, and then finds the football in his hands. Again, most of the coaches would grade that as a loss on his part. Because he got beat and held the presence of mind to put his hands up, ends up probably being the play of the game.
Brings up 3rd and 4. Marcel Tyler, 6'4", 270. Maybe with the most nimble defensive play of the game. Now here's the 3rd and 4 coming up. Central Michigan desperately trying to hold Western Michigan to a field goal here. They fake the pitch. Lowry has it. Lowry trying to slide down inside of the 5.
Okay.
No smart play there.
Yeah, I get what he's thinking.
Keep this clock moving and chew it up.
That's a very selfless play on his part, because in my mind is you score, what's the likelihood of them scoring in 2 possessions with the way their defense has been playing? But that's, again, a very heads-up play on the part of one Brock Lowry. Wow.
He had the gutsy throw on their last drive on 4th down to put the Broncos in front with the touchdown, and now they go to victory formation.
And this is the worst feeling as a defense and a team altogether, when you know there's nothing you can do but watch that clock get melted away.
Brock Lowry, an MVP performance over the last couple of drives. One of the biggest throws of his life on 4th and 5 for the touchdown. And then the run to keep the chains moving and slide down smartly so they can wind this clock down.
Didn't make it about him, made it about the team.
Western Michigan lost the Victory Cannon Trophy last season by 2 points. They're going to get revenge and get it back this year. 3 points separate this rivalry in 2025. Lance Taylor and the Broncos back on top and back with the bragging rights.
Hard-fought football game, great rivalry game. We definitely saw the chippiness in the game, but at the end of the day, what did it come down to? It came down to situational football and making the right decisions and the right plays at the right time.
96th all-time meeting comes right down to the wire, and the fireworks are going off at Waldo Stadium. A 3-point Broncos win. You could feel how much this game meant to both sides, both fan bases, right from the start. Huge stops, huge drives down the stretch for Western Michigan. And they cap off a big win in the MAC standings as well to match Buffalo in second place at 4-1.
Yeah, Jason, something tells me that it's still going to come down to the last game of the season to make a decision on who will represent the MAC in that championship game in Detroit.
Very slim margin separating these two sides today. Let's look back at some key plays. This is Lowry. The toe tap touchdown for Williams. Another look at it here. This is a 4th down to put the Broncos in front for good.
And a perfect job of designating the mismatch and taking advantage of it.
Then the Marcel Tyler volleyball pick.
That's what we're going to call it. That will go down in history. That's the volleyball pick. Great job by Tyler of being defeated at the line of scrimmage, but have the presence of mind to get that INT.
3-point win for Western Michigan. They get the Victory Cannon Trophy back to Kalamazoo. Our outstanding crew in the truck. You guys were phenomenal all night long. Thanks for your hard work. Gerard Cherry, my broadcast partner in the booth. You're fantastic, my man. I'm Jason Rush Jr. saying so long. We'll send you to Troy and Arkansas State next on ESPNU. From Kalamazoo, Western Michigan, going to celebrate through the night with a Victory Cannon Trophy.